And this enormous match for Munster is underway. O'Gara kicks Munster side. And straight away the ball into touch, so we're going to get a little bit of a scrum to go because it was knocked forward by a Munster hand. There's Didier Lacroix just getting rid of a few ounces of adrenaline. Ralph, an enormous day.
Huge day for Munster, but what a support they have here. Absolutely in droves, as you said, Jim, and they will make, if there's 5,000, they'll sound like 15.
Peter Stringer to put in. Going to be tricky, this. Front rows are going to be very interesting because, as the boys were talking in the studio beforehand, it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens in the front five. Is this where the pressure is going to be? And don't forget, Toulouse have the opportunity of bringing in a third prop. Stringer gets us going and Foley takes it on. Now what can they do at second phase? It's gone forward, I think, and it'll be a scrum to Toulouse. Well, I don't think they got back 10. So here's a chance. Free kick. Now, what have they got from a set piece here? O'Gara is going to concede the line out by the looks of things, but he's going to try. Not so. Off they go. Stringer again. Holland Hayes. Ugh. Some big hits already. Stringer going left. Round he comes, Crotty. Munster taking it to them. The first 10 minutes of this match, so important. If Munster can get a score here, and Toulouse are offside. The referee indicating that three quarters were standing up too far. And here's a chance for Ronan O'Gara.
Well, that's vital, Jim. A good start from Munster, and couple of interesting passages of play. First, the scrum, penalising Toulouse for driving in. And immediately Munster set out their assault by the quick tap penalty from Stringer, looking for the runners, Foley, Hayes and so on, and driving at the heart of Toulouse pack. And that's what they have to do today. And O'Gara now with a chance to settle the side and go 3-0 in front.
The early penalties and the early scores coming against Stade Francais, which set Munster up. But I'm afraid the French crowd are no respecters of kickers, especially when they come from the other side. Ronan O'Gara, that should be no problem. And the flags go up, and the other flags go up, and you can quickly see, as we can, around the stadium where the Munster support is. They're all waving red flags, not to mention the Irish tricolour. And there it is, between the uprights. Munster 3, Toulouse 0. Off we go. Hayes putting it down. It's gone forward, I think. Knocked forward. Looked by Peter Clohessy.
Well, early jitters really. Langford getting up high and batting the ball back. But Foley just knocking on there. And a couple of handling decisions gone against Munster. Rightly so. Early jitters. But that will settle down.
Now, Jérôme Casalbou to put into the scrum. First time for Toulouse. Steady enough set piece for them, and it's Sylvain Despagne. A long-range drop goal from Alain Penaud. It looks as if it's there, but it's wide. The crowd behind wanted it to be over, but it was always heading to the left of the posts. And let's see where it goes again. He certainly caught it well, Ralph, but it wasn't on.
Well, it was a super strike, but interestingly, to see Toulouse going for a drop goal option this early in a match when all their history and tradition is moving the ball wide early against all comers, particularly when they play in France, and maybe a measure of respect for the opposition in Munster today.
Indeed so. It didn't miss by much when we saw it from behind there. It's fierce stuff already. Now, look at Didier Lacroix bursting through the first line. Foley grabs him and hauls him down. 5 metres, though. They're out from the Munster line. Now they've men to the left, and Penaud opts to go back in for support. The Munster line holding up. Casalbou, Ntamak, knocked forward by Bello. Turnover for Munster. Stringer at the back of that advantage being played. O'Gara clears his line, and Lacroix says hello to O'Gara.
Well, very fortunate Munster there, breaking the first tackle. Halvey does well to get back and drag him down, but that's where Toulouse are so dangerous. Once they get in behind, he bounced O'Gara's attempted tackle, but once they're in behind, they're highly dangerous, and a knock-on just giving the turnover back to Munster and allowing O'Gara to relieve the pressure.
So line out, and it'll be Yannick Brou to throw. Looking for his big jumpers, Toulouse. There he goes. Frank Bello with him. Good solid surge. And the second phase. Munster must reform here. No loose broken play, but that's exactly what Toulouse have got. And it's Lee Stensness, the New Zealand international, giving to Frank Tournaire inside the danger zone. Oh, look at this. And a great rob here by Ronan O'Gara, right in position. But a penalty for a high tackle against Munster.
Well, it certainly didn't take long for Toulouse to get the steam up. 10 minutes gone, and they really are putting on the pressure. Fleming already indicated the penalty award before O'Gara relieving kick.
And it's Michel Marfin who's their marksman, being called up, and here we are again. Toulouse was the one to make the drive on, and the penalty for the high tackle straight in front. Marfang has kicked a lot of penalties in his time. 18 in this tournament. Make it 19 and they're level. 7 minutes gone.
Well, the sides are level, Jim, and Toulouse coming at the heart of the Munster pack. They've used their big men, Toulouse, to drive back at Munster when in possession, and that's causing the gaps. And it's something Munster have to concentrate on, get the first-time tackles in, and stop any potential danger in behind.
Well, it's a marvellous arena, as you can see. A municipal stadium, and it's used by rugby and by soccer, although the local team, Bègle Bordeaux, don't play their rugby here. It's only for representative matches. And once again, good move. This is Christian Labitte. Normally speaking, he has absolutely black hair, and Didier Lacroix has white hair. 6 and 7 are now the same. Big hack forward down to Crotty. That's the last time he could afford to let it bounce, otherwise it would have been very difficult, but he did well, and that's a super clearance.
Well, there again, the Toulouse pack driving at the heart of the Munster 8, and they just cannot cope with that and hope to get away with it for 80 minutes, but good stuff from Toulouse, good driving play. Munster happy to be at 3-3 at this stage, Jim, I think.
8.5 gone. Penalty apiece. Brou to throw. Up goes Toulouse once more. The ref in the way, getting between Tomac and De Brossa, and Tomac coming round on the blind side, wrapped up by Mike Mullins. Good possession though retained, and Tournaire on the second phase, and it's Wallace to hold on to him. Third option. Penaud, huge bandage around his neck, and I'm afraid Christian Califano got himself in the wrong situation there. Now let's see what Munster can do in this turnover. There's a super drive, and away goes Keith Wood and his men to spare. Driving through, took a good tackle to stop him, but look where Munster are, inside the 22 and arriving in numbers. Stringer on the narrow side. That's through to Kelly, who's come around from the other wing. Wood still feeling the effects of that long run of the tackle, but there are men to spare here. Now Halvey, if he can release. And here's Hayes, hand trip, just stopped him by Penaud. There are the Toulouse posts, now let it go. And there's Foley, the last man in. Tackled by Califano. Now what can Munster do? Can they still retain it? Here's Stringer, nobody to the right. O'Gara, the little shimmy into Crotty. Crotty, a man to spare. John Hayes in for the try. John Hayes scores his first try in representative colours. And it was made by the whole team. And while we speak, Keith Wood is still out of it on the far side of the pitch after that marvellous charge which set it all up.
Well, what a superb passage of play from Munster. Just when we thought they were under the crash, there's Hayes getting in for the try, but it started a long way back from a turnover. And quick movement. Keith Wood made the initial surge, but great continuity play and great credit to the Munster side coming back when they were certainly under pressure in the early stages, and a great response.
That was terrific stuff. It was Crotty there, offloading, and there was Hayes, the big man, 18 stone. He's had a few problems, groin injuries that took him off a couple of weeks ago. Well, I don't know about that Santa Claus. We don't want to see Christmas coming too early. Ronan O'Gara. Meanwhile, Keith Wood is still getting attention. He's slowly limping back. Here's Ronan O'Gara to make it 7. It's there, I think. No, it slipped away. Well, that's amazing. I thought it just crept in. Well, here we go with the try once again. The little shimmy inside, the pass to Crotty, that's what set it up. And there at his shoulder was the big prop. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, 18 stone and the rest. But it should have been 7. That's where we are. 11.5 minutes gone, and the Munster manager there still looking anxious, as he will for the next 70 minutes or so. And certainly Munster are taking it to the home side. Stringer, good possession. O'Gara, once again, Labit comes to him. That's a tricky ball for Ugier. Brave tackle, but Despagna rescues, and it's gone behind, and Ugier is in trouble from that tackle. And Marfang tries to make it awkward for Crotty. Not in touch. That's awkward possession. Well, really, it's anybody's at this stage, and that must now be a Munster scrum.
Well, very scrappy there, Jim, and Dominic Crotty may be a bit fortunate to get away with the loose kick to touch, but an off-the-ball incident. Crowd reacting with nothing in from the linesman.
Now here's where Ugier went up with Jason Holland. That's where he suffered. It was everybody up for the ball, no quarter given or asked, and I think Keith Wood is still in trouble, Ralph. He's away from the play.
Well, Jim, he seemed to have taken a knock on the knee in the lead up to the try, and whether it's the injury he picked up in the last outing, a number of the Munster players carrying knocks into this game, and it really would be a big blow to Munster should Keith Wood have to go off, although Frankie Sheehan is a proven campaigner, but this is a high level. You want your number one man there leading the charge, as he did for the score.
Ugier badly winded, but it gives Keith Wood the opportunity to get back a little bit of his undoubted strength. There he is.
I think, Jim, that one of the important aspects of Munster's try is that they got the first try of the match. Toulouse, while they have respected Munster, have talked all week about the Toulouse game, the wide game, and they wanted to desperately come out and put a few tries on the board. I think the fact that Munster scored first, well, it might just sow the seeds of doubt in Toulouse's mind that maybe this Munster side is a good side, and French teams in the past have been known to turn on little things like that. Hopefully, but there's a long way to go.
Ugier okay, and we'll continue. And once again, Munster get the advantage here, and Foley away. Tackled by Penno. Stringer waiting. There's a Frenchman offside. They have a habit of getting between player and ball on the opposition side. Third phase. Stringer getting the ball away quite quickly, and that's a lovely kick by Crotty, and Ugier is certainly nowhere near the pace. He isn't even in the picture at the moment as Munster go inside the 20.
Allen stayed on his feet. He went out like a sack of potatoes, and he really hasn't recovered.
He's in a bad way now behind his post there. Needs every bit of time he can get to recover. It's going to be very tough in there for the rest of this match. The weather is absolutely beautiful this afternoon, but fortunately the rain has helped a bit to keep the humidity down, which was a real worry. That's Frank Bello taking. Kazalbou Penno. He did a lot of very serious stretching. Back goes Kelly. Crotty with him. They're all lined up, and he chooses route one, up the middle and up to halfway. Now the French back row there, and he's penalised for not releasing. Interesting this. He had to go, and Brew takes it on from Casalbou. This is quick stuff. Van Bello charging forward. They really are dangerous. Tournaire. Califano. They're that close, and they knocked it forward. Well, the crowd at that end are absolutely pure Toulouse, and they can't believe it.
Well, I don't think you're going to get a balanced decision from the Toulouse supporters behind the goal.
I don't think so.
It was good play again from Toulouse. Good handling in close, the pack driving hard. But, you know, Munster really penalised from a very good run by John Kelly initially.
Yep. Just must tell you that Keith Wood is in trouble again. He doesn't look happy at all as we watch this replay. Nicky Davies is out there on the field. He throws himself into everything, of course. See if we can see once again where he got this extra knock. There he is, throwing himself in hard, not sparing himself one bit. But look, he's on the ground there. He's back in the action here. Scrum Munster, and I think the ref is going to give the advantage this time to Munster, but I think they're lucky. Yeah. If the ball goes into the scrum and it's your scrum and you don't use it, and the scrum wheels, it goes to the other side, and this is what Munster don't want to give away here, 5 metres from their own line. Feverish defence. Scrum Toulouse.
Well, the pressure is certainly on now, Jim. Speaking to former French star Denis Charvet before the game, they were very unhappy about the appointment of Jim Fleming because of the way they perceived that he referees the scrummaging decisions, and they had all banked on their own scrum dominating today.
Well, he's going to have to make serious calls here. It's very hard to know who's bringing it down. Number 8, Sylvain Despagne. All experienced campaigners in there, each one trying to get the other to give away a penalty. Casalbou, Despagne, Casalbou once again, Ougier back in action. They've scored many a try with him coming into the line from that position. The ref quickly gives a penalty. Looks as if he's saying stay on your feet. We've lost his mic, so I can't tell you what he's saying, but it looks as if, and possibly we'll see it again, that the Toulouse side didn't stay on their feet. Ougier trying to make it through past Horgan's tackle. Who's coming in there? The last man. Well, Lacroix certainly didn't stay on his feet, but it's a difficult call.
Well, it seems a very harsh decision, really, Jim. Foley did well playing the ball on his feet, but as he stood up, he was hit, and the momentum really took the two Toulouse players to ground, and Munster may be fortunate to get out with the relieving penalty.
18.5. Toulouse 3, Munster 8. Penalty to Ronan O'Gara and a try to John Hayes. That's against a penalty to Michel Maffin. Halby the taker. Stringer and Foley. Crash ball. And once again, Munster penalised for not releasing after the tackle. And this should be an easy 3 points for Maffin.
Toulouse certainly seem to have done their homework on Anthony Foley, Jim. He's been a tower of strength for Munster all through this season with his surging runs. There they had 2 defenders on him straight away, one to tackle, one to clasp possession, and when Munster's support wasn't there, referee had no option but to give the penalty for holding on in the tackle.
Support from Munster if anybody needs it. And it's very hot over there, and I'm glad to see that in that dugout they've actually put a cover up because the sun was beating down there relentlessly earlier in the afternoon. There's going to be a lot of perspiration lost during this day. Here's Marfang. 19 penalties to the good and 1 in this match. The correct side of the field for the left-footed kicker. There it is on its way again. Touch judges have a little conference, but it brings Toulouse back to within 2 of Munster's lead.
Well, a good kick by Marfang to bring Toulouse back into it. Of course, this guy starred in the win 3.5 years ago when Munster shipped 60 points down in Toulouse, and he was one of their stars that day, scoring tries and kicking all the goals, and he has them back to within 2 points.
Munster reserves anxiously wait. Bounced off somebody's head into O'Gara's hands. Here's Mullins, lost his scrum cap, crashes into Stesnes. A lot of bruised bodies at the end of this. Hard hits all round. French back row watching the big danger men. Mullins going to run up the middle. Always manages to offload, even when tackled by 2. Stringer, O'Gara, quickly off to Wallace. The drift defence is covering Toulouse well. Somebody has to pick it up, and it has to be Horgan. And he's swallowed up, and Munster have been driven back 10 in this exchange. Now Stringer to O'Gara to test Ougier once again. It's too far ahead of the full-back, he doesn't want to know. Up goes Labitte, knocks it back. It's rescued by Califano. It's laid there perfectly back for Stensnes. But Crotty has a long way to travel. That's a very good kick by the centre.
Super relieving kick. Munster just turning over possession really from the kick. They had recycled 4 or 5 times, and maybe the option was not to kick away, particularly against the French side in these conditions, and Stensnes punishes the turnover with a massive kick, bringing Munster back into their own 22 again.
Absolutely boiling down there. Must have been 25 degrees when we started. You can add a couple more to it now. Keith Wood trying to draw in air. It's been a very frantic, frenetic, tough 21 minutes. Munster cut the line. Wood with the throw. It's a nice take again by Halvey. And O'Gara to clear. Over Entomac's head, into touch, just inside Toulouse half.
Well, very good relieving kick there from O'Gara. He's settled in early, really into this match. Great take by Galway again. And Toulouse, you know, you must remember, Toulouse would have done their homework on the Munster line-out. They would have targeted Mick Galway, Halvey, and particularly John Langford as one of the main weapons that Munster have used this year, and used it so successfully. But Munster, Keith Wood still finding his man, and Munster dealing with possession well.
Brew with the throw. Looking at the back for D'Espagna, he did well. It was cruising away from him, even though there's no breeze to worry about. Sharp blast there, and Toulouse penalised for coming in from the side.
Well, he has spoken to Labitte a number of times in the opening 20 minutes for coming in the wrong side and going to ground early. But good possession here, goes a bit loose. Cazalbou is caught by Langford, and Labitte concedes the penalty.
Brian O'Brien and Niall O'Donovan. Brian looking anxious as the manager on the right, Niall O'Donovan as his assistant. See what O'Gara can do to punch Toulouse into their own 22, and that's what he does. And into that corner is where there is a fair amount of Irish support, so they be cheered on there as they take the line out, and they're on their feet. And if we can see a wide shot there as we watch the 2 boys getting ready, they may be called on later, but not yet. That's where a lot of Munster supporters are. 2 fellas came on their motorbike, I believe, along with several jumbos, and that didn't work. The Shannon move didn't work around the narrow side. Brave tackle by O'Gara, but Munster on the defensive here as Tournaire takes it up, and Labitte carries it on, and Toulouse wants it, but he can't get it. Big charge up from Stensnes in the middle, and he's got Ougier to his left, but he's covered. Long kick from Marfang, back goes Stringer, who gets the touchdown. Well, the touch judge is saying 22, and the referee says, I won't argue.
Well, talk about your defence being stretched. Super play from Labit. He saw the numbers out wide, and Stenson is spotting the gap. Haduzier outside, but that was cut off. Kicked through for very fast Marfang. A brilliant covering run from Stringer, and eventually Halvey gets there.
It looks like a very close call, this. Stenson is kicking through, and Marfang, the speedster, on the left wing, and Peter Stringer is the only man. Who's going to get there? Well, nobody got downward pressure on it, that's for sure. Relief for Munster there as O'Gara gets going again. 6 to Toulouse, 8 to Munster. 25 gone. Another useful kick, testing Entomac. Wooden Entomac. Crashing tackle. Toulouse have men to spare here as the Munster defence is slightly at disarray. But that's not a good pass. Not a good pass at all, and Marfang certainly won't thank Cedric Debros for that.
Well, it's a timely reminder for the last minute or so for the Munster side that, you know, if you turn over possession to a Toulouse side, you're going to have to do a lot of cover tackling. And Keith Wood coming out second best with Entomac, but very quickly they're aware of the opportunities out wide, where the numbers are, and they certainly can exploit it.
Frank Brew having a word, or rather Jim Fleming having a word. They've been freed a few times in this match. Stringer in trouble. And Tomac also seems in a bit of trouble over there. He's got a bit of attention, and the touch judge, I think, has said something on his talking flag, as it were. Entomac doesn't look a happy customer at all. I think the wing is his best position, to be honest, but he needs to be able to use both legs. He doesn't look comfortable, but he's out there still, and it's a Munster scrum. Quick ball required. Stringer to O'Gara. O'Gara to Holland. Munster lucky there, I think. Mullins overran him and Stringer goes away. Can't be tackled for 10 yards. O'Gara hauled down by Tournaire, just about on the 10. Bodies everywhere. And knocked on by Peter Clausen.
Well, there are things you just can't afford, really. You know, when you've got a bit of momentum, those little mistakes can really hurt you at this level. And with the pace and power of this Toulouse side, every scrap of possession is vital. And Golov, his old buddy, was practically handing it to him there.
Absolutely.
And the communication broke down.
The Spaniard to Cazalbou. Big charge to Entomac, who'd come round from the blind side. The Spaniard again. Certainly this Toulouse back row are very active. Put up into De Bros's hands. Spaniard taking it forward again. They really are there in numbers, and men to spare on the left. Pinot. Another 5 metres gain, but not up to the 22 yet. Now, Stensness. Great tackle by Mullins in the middle. And a penalty against Munster for not allowing the ball to be released. Getting in the way. Well, that is a pity. After all that hard work. No doubt Marfang will be called up once more.
Well, it's all come really from good pressure, again from the Toulouse pack in the close quarters. They're very good slipping the ball without losing pace, driving at the heart, and Munster just trying to prevent the possession coming back and from going wide. And perhaps 3 points is better than 7, but at the same time they're trying desperately to maintain their lead. They're now likely to put Toulouse, or Marfang likely to put Toulouse back in front with this.
Well, all sorts of attention being given to all sorts of players. See Frank Tournaire over there, and Yannick Brew getting a lot of attention. So there's a bit of tightness there in the hooker's chest. Meanwhile, 2 penalties so far. Straight in front again. All the kicks have been easy, and that is a real let-off for Munster. The score stays Toulouse 6, Munster 8. And coming up to a half an hour gone, and that is a very, very bad miss.
Well, that's the proverbial howler, really, Jim. I mean, he was 35 metres out, straight in front. He's a recognised goal kicker, and it was a pure socket.
O'Gara floating one. Up goes Bello. Ref will play on. Advantage being played to Toulouse. On goes Toulouse. Casalbou, Penaud, men to spare. Labitte. 3 or 4 Munster men there, but they still didn't take him to the ground. Well laid back to Casalbou, and Penaud has lovely men to spare. Brew. The tackles were put in. Munster defence now beginning to cover, but there's men here. Entomac going on his own, knocked forward by Califano. Scrum got a penalty against Munster. They were offside. The ref saw the 3/4 offside, possibly a touch judge decision. As we were following the ball, another chance for Marfang.
Well, it's very difficult when Toulouse are recycling and moving at such pace. You have to try and get up quickly, and of course Munster trying to stay on the advantage line, but that time adjudged to have been offside. And Marfang has an opportunity now to make up for his glaring miss a few seconds ago.
Well, look at the anxious faces in the dugout. Marfang has scored in every one of the matches he's played except one, and he's played in them all, so this is his 8th appearance. He's still on 2 penalties, 2 from 3. And that one's there. And it's the lead for the home side for the first time in the match. 32 gone. Toulouse 8. Toulouse 9. Munster 8. Well, it didn't bisect the upright, but certainly it went between them, and that's all that matters.
Well, I think Jim, Munster have to be reasonably happy at a point differential at this stage in the game, given the amount of possession Toulouse have had in the opening half an hour.
It'll be interesting to see what Declan Kidney and co will say at half-time. Munster certainly need another try before half-time to give them a big advantage going into the second half. There's a big one from Penaud. That's a difficult one for Crotty. Bounced well for him. Good tackle by Stensness in the middle. And it's giving the advantage back to Toulouse, who are going forward, and Munster have to come back and regroup. And another penalty against Munster.
Well,
tackle against Crotty didn't release.
He did well, he ran back, made the space, but whereas in previous matches the support was getting to the runner very quickly, just in case he got tackled. Today Munster are just a bit slow in getting in support of the runner, and the ball carrier then is consequently having to hold on to possession, and we conceded a couple of kicks because of that.
Crowd unhappy, but it's the right decision to take a shot at goal. There's no breeze to worry about, really. Can't see any flags around where we are at the top of the stadium, but it really is a glorious day. It's probably not a good place to be on the pitch because it's just probably too hot. But nonetheless, Mike Mullins there, blocking Marfang's view. Three from 4, successful kicks from the set piece. On its way again. 3 more points to Toulouse, all scored by Michel Marfang. 4 penalty goals to him. Toulouse 12, Munster 8.
Well, Marfang stretching their lead, and really what Munster need to do now is hold on and stay in touch with this side. Certainly with the conditions, Jim, in the second half, you have to see the introduction of reserves just from the point of view of fresh legs. The likes of Quinlan, Frankie Sheehan, Marcus Horn, particularly Killian Keane perhaps, but you certainly won't get a victory with just the starting 15 on the field.
Well, it looks as if the players were ahead of the kicker. If that's the call, Brian O'Brien looking worried as well he might. Well, he's going to ask them to take it again. It's a bit unusual. As I said, we've lost the ref's mic, so I can't tell you what he's saying. Maybe there was somebody on the pitch who shouldn't have been there. O'Gara this time, but the format. Nice palm back by Halvey that time, and O'Gara rifles one through, but it's too far for John Kelly. Awkward one though for Marfang. He won't get too much purchase on that. He puts the ball out of play, and Ian Ramage's flag goes up, and it puts Munster inside the Toulouse 22. Just under 5 to go of normal time. Good attacking position this with the Munster throw.
And right in front of the Munster support too, Jim, and they need something out of this. They haven't spent too long in the Toulouse 22 in the last 20 minutes, and that's really come from a lack of possession, and good opportunity now to launch some series of attack.
Keith Wood looking for Langford this time. Well, the pop ball, it meant that Galway had to recover in the start again, and Toulouse have gone forward 5 metres. Stringer has it though. Foley just watching. O'Gara, it's too awkward for him. Now here's Mullins trying to get the outside break. In go Munster once again, and they have the possession. Foley looking for third phase here, all standing out to the right. There's an opportunity for O'Gara, running at the opposition and almost breaking it, but he needs support, and it's there in front of the post, and loose ball. Now Halvey's through. Halvey's almost through, but he needs support again. First man there was Hayes, now Stringer, now Mullins. Mullins has Wood. 5 metres short. Will they go to the right or left? Stringer bustles in, and a penalty against Toulouse, and the back line was offside. Quickly taken, trying to get Wallace going under the Toulouse posts. 5 to go. Advantage being played. Munster scrum. Stringer, men to the left, all over the place. O'Gara tried to make the break himself, but Labitte and Lacroix have him. Still, it's Munster. And the ball went forward somewhere. And there's no advantage, I think. And it looks as if it's going to be...
But I think it's penalty again.
Penalty again,
Snapping back 10 initially, or interfering with the play. Interesting. It just goes to show you the type of belief that Munster have in their own ability, that they passed up the opportunity to kick a goal initially. Now they're taking their points, but they certainly went looking for the scores, went looking for the tries. And
it was great to see it, as you say, Ralph. I mean, they really do believe in themselves, don't they?
Yeah, and that will keep Toulouse thinking. That will keep them thinking, no matter, if they get 9 or 10 points ahead, they'll still know that Munster are capable of scoring tries and will look for the opportunities to do so. But important now for O'Gara to get us back within a point.
There'll be a bit of time to be added, because Keith Wood was injured at one stage, Stéphane Ougier another. And here they are again. This is where Halvey made the surge towards the line. You almost feel he's going to be through, but Bello just got a hold of the Munster shirt there. He kept going. Hayes was the next man up. No respect for the kicker. What a pity. O'Gara, it's there. There's only one between them now. Just under 2 of normal time left. Father Christmas waves his hand in the air, and O'Gara brings Munster to 11.
And the longer they can keep the scoreline close, Jim, the greater chance of the supporters getting on the backs of their own team, because Toulouse is the city which has been known as the tradition of champagne rugby. They like to win matches. They prefer to win them scoring beautiful tries. If it doesn't happen, they can turn on their own side.
Is it in on the full? Yes, it is. Scrum back, scrum to Munster. Mistake by Alan Penno. That really won't please the Toulouse pack at all, or Frank Bello, the Toulouse captain. Munster regrouping very quickly. What about another score just before half-time? That would suit Munster very, very well indeed. Into the last minute of normal time. Front row of the scrum still causing trouble. I'm sure Jim Fleming has told his touch judges to keep an eye out on the other side. John Hayes on this side, propping against Kelly Fano, as they did in the Ireland-France match. Possession. Didn't quite go to hand as expected. Crotty had to pick up and get in there. Now O'Gara will tidy up. Another good kick. Up goes Marfang. It's not going to make the touchline. Now who's going to close him down? And well, Kelly did well enough, and he's proved suspect from the ball in hand, Ralph.
Well, he almost had too much time there. John Kelly did well, closed quickly but stood off, and you know, he's hit a few kicks poorly out of hand. He's missed one howler of a place kick in front of the post and doesn't look at all comfortable, Jim.
No, he doesn't. Well, Munster again have a line out right down in front of more Munster support. This is where the main body of the Munster support are. They're all wearing red caps and carrying dark red flags. And Keith Wood to throw once again. This is where the line out happened before, perhaps a little closer in, which set the move going that eventually led to the 3 points. Langford the target. Clean take. This time it's better possession for Stringer. O'Gara to Foley on the surge. And then once again a very good tackle by Labitte in midfield. Now the drop goal from O'Gara. No, it's gone wide, I think. Yeah, just to the right. Ougier running from his own posts. Counter-attack on to Marfang. Faced by Halvey, looking for support. It's there in numbers. Pelous charges into Wood, and look at the amount of ground he gained before he hit the deck. Kazalbou, Penno, they're on the surge. Stensness, now can Holland get to Entomac? He does, but Penno tidies. And he's away. Stringer, smallest man on the field, takes his man, gone forward. Califano once again, counter-attack on, advantage being played, none. It'll be a scrum to Munster. What a passage of play, but just how dangerous Toulouse can be when they run from behind their own posts.
Well, super stuff from Ougier. You know, Munster again just dropping the concentration. Missed drop goal attempt, assuming a 22 dropout, and off goes Ougier, linking with Marfang, and a brilliant passage of play. And poor old Califano, you could almost see him going, oh no.
He's done that a few times today. Now scrum collapsing, penalty against Munster. Sore bodies getting up there very slowly indeed. Hayes, Galway, very slow pick up there. And I wonder, is Ougier going to try a shot at goal from halfway? He's their long-range man. He's scored a penalty already, and 16 points he's got in this competition, along with the 2 tries and the drop goal. Well, we've 2 minutes of extra time played. 6 penalties to Toulouse, 7 to Munster. Not much in it. This will prove, I think, whether he's recovered or not, but certainly from the way he sprinted out from under his post that time, Ralph, I think he is back in the match. Toulouse 12, Munster 11. Can't be much left now in this half. He's been around a long time. He played in that match in Toulouse, and Toulouse beat Munster in 96, 60 points to 19, so he's now 32. The one penalty he scored was against Pontypool in the second of the round-robin matches. Ougier to increase Toulouse's lead. It looks very good indeed, no mistake, never in doubt, and it's half-time. We're underway, 40 minutes left in this semi-final to see who will go through to the final of this year's Heineken European Cup. Tournament favourites, big team Toulouse, best team in France. Lost in the quarter-final last year, believe it or not, and we mustn't forget it, they lost to Ulster 15-13. And in the previous year, they lost on the try count 2-1 against them, which was scored by Brive after a 22-all finish in the semis. So they've been basically at this stage every time they played, and of course they were the first winners of this competition back in 1996 when they beat Cardiff 21-18.
Well, Jim, it's very important now for Munster to get a foothold in Toulouse territory. They've really got to keep attacking them, both with ball in hand, and particularly when Toulouse have possession. Their tackling, their defence must be aggressive.
Sheehan looks for Wallace, finds him. Lacroix was way offside. That's Holland. Oh, what a pity. Trip by Crotty. Oh, everybody on the ground, but a penalty. Looks as if he's penalising. Toulouse for not staying in their feet. Once again, it's a difficult call, and this is not an easy kick.
Well, once again, it's Labit he's penalising for going to deck, and unlucky there, the trip by his own man, in fact, bringing him to ground. But Labit again caught by Mr. Fleming for living on the deck.
So it's going to be Ronan O'Gara from here. Ian Fleming comes on with the tee. I should tell you that there's Guy Noves on the left, who is the principal coach, and the guy beside him is David Stammens, who is the assistant coach for the home side. But I was going to say, Ralph, that the dressing rooms are about 2 miles away, and I'm not exaggerating. They go into the tunnel you saw them emerging from a few moments ago, then they go right down to the end of the stand, away to the left as we look at it, and then across the path and into the dressing rooms. It's a long way. Meanwhile, Ronan O'Gara, he's got the distance anyway, and it's hit the post and gone over. They all count, and the post is still waving around.
Well, maybe, Jim, that might be a sign of Munster's luck to change or to continue really in this competition. But that was a vital kick to get Munster back within 1 point, and again just put the seeds of doubt maybe in the Toulouse ranks.
Wow.
Munster now have to build on it.
I tell you, it hit the post and it looked as if it was hooking too far. I read an article yesterday that Richard Harris is filming in Mexico, and he prayed and gave up all his novenas and triduums when Ronan O'Gara kicked the winning post penalty. This is awkward. Fortunately, Wallace is there, but Labit has been around to cover. But Harris prayed like he never prayed before when O'Gara kicked that winning point against Saracens. And this is straight down Entomac's throat. Away he goes. What a good tackle by Jason Holland. Mullins and Holland stopping him in the middle. Penaud making Crotty work hard a bit today. Faced by Marfan. Over goes Casalbou. Up to the 22, and men in support. And they needed everything they could get there, as Halby did eventually get over to cover.
Well, 2 very dangerous kicks. Crotty here chipping ahead, didn't go too far. Casalbou caught it on the bounce, and they just had to hold, the support had to hold from Halby, got across well. And earlier, Ronan O'Gara kicking to the open side to one of the most dangerous broken field runners in modern rugby, in Emile Lintomac. That's the type of ball that Munster shouldn't really be kicking away to the opposition, particularly having got themselves back to win in the 1 point.
All right, you are. Toulouse 15, Munster 14. Santa Claus in the Munster ranks over there. Sheehan now to throw. He delayed a bit, but Galway has rescued it. And Stringer can see it. Surely Toulouse were offside there. Frank Bello was way up. Ougier over halfway, up to the 10-metre mark, not quite. Stensness now trying to get up there. Everybody putting in tackles. Horgan putting one in. Here's Califano trying to put his head down and go. On the surge here, Penaud. Califano once more. Make a lot of headway. Advantage being played, or is the ref just telling Munster to stay onside? Into Entomac. Brew taking it up to the 22. Men everywhere. Tournaire. Penaud. He has Labit. Penaud, last man. Dominic Crotty does well, but they're 5 metres away, and they once again didn't stay on their feet. They're all over the place. Men to spare, deliberate knock on. Going to be a penalty, probably a yellow card. Is it against Mick Galway? Mike Mullins. It's Mullins, I'm afraid. Into the sin bin after 5 minutes, and Munster could do without that, because not only are they down to 14, but they're also going to go another 3 points behind. Oh, Ralph, I just must ask you about the Toulouse players there in that run-up to that, because none of them stayed on their feet.
Well, I think the referee decided they had momentum, Jim. It wasn't as if it was a formed maul. It was very loose play. They were driving over. The momentum was still there. And Mike Mullins there, the judge have deliberately knocked on, but I think they were always going to get the penalty. They're going to go 3 points up here, further ahead. but most importantly, the next 10 minutes could decide Munster's future in this competition.
Marfang now. Missed one, got 4. Missed one, got 5. He's got all Toulouse's points. The home side lead 18 points to 14.
And Jim, you can be certain that Toulouse, recognising the Sinbin offence, will up the pace. They'll try and put 2 gears on this match now and bury Munster. They'll be looking for the tries, and it's really going to be down to a massive Munster defensive effort to continue their interest in this competition. If they come through the next 10 minutes without conceding a score, well then things will be different, but it's going to be very difficult.
Strange that Peter Clohessy has to tie his boot just now. But it's funny the way laces can become undone just at the wrong time.
Well, it might be worth a minute.
And out comes Nicky Davis. Another player needs a bit of attention. The play is going to go on, I think. O'Gara restarts. Long one down to Penno. That's a pretty severe bandage he has. Long curse for Anthony Foley, and that was a beauty of a kick. It'll be a Munster throw.
Well, he really rifled that one, Jim. He is a sweet kicker of the ball, and when he's on form, he can send that ball miles. Beautifully struck and got the brilliant bounce at the end of it. Now this is where Munster need to earn the bread and butter, Jim. They need to hold out here, hold tight.
They've taken Foley and Wallace out of the line, so they've got 5 up. Clohessy, Galway, Halvey, Langford and Hayes. Halvey's the target here. Sheehan doesn't find him, but rescued by the thrower. Now O'Gara must clear the lines here and not into open country. That's straight down Ougier's throat. He's got men left and right. Good tackle by David Wallace. Wraps him up and Munster have turned it over. Stringer. That's a good kick by the scrum half. That's a surprisingly good kick. Wonderful piece of opportunist football to take Munster to within 10. Great kick.
Well, brilliant play from Stringer. O'Gara just rushing it a small bit in the last 1 or 2 kicks, and Stringer taking the responsibility to knock it over the top. And a vital turnover there from Ougier, and Munster at least deep in Toulouse territory. Again, ticking away the minutes.
Mike Mullen still has another 5 to go in the sin bin. Yannick Brew with the throw. Each side cut the line now. There's only 4 up this time. Bello, Pelouse in there in the middle, and it's Bello the target. Frank Bello, the captain. Sturdy player and a big man. Nice ball out to Penno once again. Now that's in touch, but just on halfway, I think. There's nothing Horgan could do about that except watch it over his head. Well, the touch judge has gone miles. I think that's that's quite a long way. There was no purchase on that at all. He's given it to them. There's Mullins. And the Munster crowd, away to our right, on their feet, a bit incensed by that, because he certainly gave them another 10 metres. Sometimes see that at the home side in matches. Sheehan now once again. Langford with his hands up. Galway the target. Yes. Not straight. Scrum to Toulouse. Well, Frankie isn't having the best of starts with the throws, I must say. It's going to take him a while to get into this match, that's for sure. He's waited a long time for his chance. He's a very, very promising young player. He's only 23. No caps yet, but they must surely come. D'Espagne, Casalbou, Penno into Desbrosses. And there's a lovely run by Marfang, charging up the last line of defence, and they're in touch, but they're 5 metres short of the Munster line, and they really do motor. And you've got to remember, of course, Munster have to cover the wide acres of Stade Lescure with a man short in midfield.
Well, super stuff from Toulouse, using the hands, creating the gaps, quick hands, and you would have backed Marfang, but great cover defence from Munster. Anthony Horgan there as well, John Kelly and Halvey, all there to protect the corner flag area. Great attacking play from Toulouse, very good defensive work from Munster.
Let's see now, we can find Langford this time. Stringer does well. The rest of the pack, of course, only had to go behind their own goal line. And O'Gara charged down by Penno.
Well, how Jim Fleming couldn't penalise Penno there. He was a mile
offside, and Stringer is up to halfway, and away goes Kelly. Kelly flips it inside, but it's taken by Tournaire on the peel, and Ougier on the counter-attack, but stopped by Eddie Halvey. These players are being asked to run a lot today and cover a huge amount of ground. Stensness to Entomac, faced by Horgan, and he's past Horgan and O'Gara too, and Halvey has to cover again. Back goes David Wallace this time. Wallace the man. And Munster have turned it over once more. Now Labitte is way off. And let's see if the ref is going to decide this time. At least he is. Penalty this time to Munster.
Well, you have to admire the defensive effort the Munster players are putting in. That was good stuff from Anthony Horgan. While he didn't bring Entomac down, he certainly delayed his run, if you like, and the cover was able to get there.
Alan Penno asking, where's the offside line, ref? And there's Entomac, almost skipping through. But as you said, Ralph, there was enough stop to his momentum just to allow the covering tackle to get over, and David Wallace wrapped him up and closed him down. Line out to Munster when we resume. Now there's great play as they turned the man and got the ball. The Toulouse 22, 4 points the difference. Got 2.5 to go. Mike Mullins, Langford takes. If Munster want, they can try and keep this tight. At least they've got equal numbers up front. Stringer has O'Gara. It's a good position for a drop goal. And a penalty against Toulouse for deliberately collapsing. They went around the side and didn't retire. Penno is furious. The crowd behind are stunned into silence. And Frank Bello is being called up to be told that you must, if you deliberately collapse, it's a penalty, and if you come in from the side, it's a penalty.
Peter Stringer, Jim, was unhappy with the referee's decision there in that Jim Fleming did not give them the advantage. He could have played, they had momentum in the maul, and maybe possibility of greater things, but O'Gara's certainty to go for the 3 points here.
Brian O'Brien once again with the anxious look in his face. But everybody associated with Munster and thousands watching at home are certainly anxious today, because this match is still within Munster's grasp. Only 4 points the difference. A successful kick here from Ronan O'Gara, and that could be just the single point. There's no doubt they must have talked about that match in '96 when Toulouse just ran away from them, and it was a telling lesson, and they've learned it well, Munster. O'Gara. Yes, that's there. That's right between the uprights. No question of it touching off a pole this time. It's there. And Toulouse are now 18 and Munster are 17. 15 minutes gone. I reckon that is the end of the sin bin for Mike Mullins, but there's no sign of him coming back yet. He's on his feet over there.
A great effort again by O'Gara. Pressure kick, knowing that he has to slot it really to keep in touch with Toulouse. Super slot.
Penno to get us going. It's Tournaire number 3. Langford's under that. Terrific two-handed take. Good ball. O'Gara. Well, these wing forwards on the out half are coming up very fast on the Munster out half. Ougier. Good tackle that by John Kelly. D'Espagne gets the ball to Marfang. Don't forget Munster's defence still a man short. And Toulouse are doing the clever thing by bringing in their forwards as well. and Munster still forcing them out of play and around midfield where it's not a big problem. And Mullins is coming back, and Munster are back to full strength. Mullins on the field. So that was a good 10 minutes by Munster. Not only did they not concede anything, but they actually got a penalty of their own, so that was good play.
And Jim, of course, they had to cope with the fact that Toulouse recognised that and went for the wide option, trying to create the space with Munster a man down, and good effort to keep them out.
Sheehan throwing, Langford, Stringer, Espana quickly up there. It's a little snipe he makes the odd time that makes Stringer dangerous. He takes people by surprise. O'Gara. Again, the Toulouse back row doing well. Holland. Halfway. O'Gara. Nice kick. Entomac has to go back. There's plenty of space, but he has to go into open country in order to use it. And he skipped past Mullins, and that was a bad miss. O'Gara now, closing down the narrow space, along with Horgan. And it's very, very tough in there. All big men, all using their full strength and weight. Penaud, Labitte into midfield. Toulouse in numbers first. Now Toulouse, the French captain, and I mean the national team. Langford wraps up the man, but Casalbou has it, and now has Labitte. Oh, what a super tackle. That really was good stuff by Holland. Now Bello, Califano, and there's nobody outside De Brosse. Tournaire, head up, Bello once again. Mullins takes him down, and Bello manages to offload a beautiful pass. Now Penaud, and they've got three to the left, and Stensness has knocked it on with three men outside him, and the line at their mercy.
Well, could you believe it? They
No,
had 4
I
or
couldn't.
5 men over, and it was curtains for Munster. And Stensness puts his head in his hands, and he just can't believe it.
They've had unbelievable luck, Munster, today. It's riding with them so far, but that was the clearest chance that Toulouse have had to score. And Peter Cloughesy in trouble. I think they all need a little bit of a breather here, but I hope this wide-angle shot will give us a look to see just how many men that Toulouse had over. And there were 3 outside Stensness. 1, 2, and there was another one out there as well.
Well, maybe there's a small bit left in that bottle of holy water, Jim.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe Richard Harris is doing another novena down in Mexico.
And the Munster supporters really responded in kind to that. They know
Sure
that
are.
maybe they're still there. Maybe it's all on the cards still.
Just 1 point between them. That's it up there. Coming up to the last quarter. Toulouse 18, Munster 17. Stringer to put in for Sheehan to heel. Cloughesy, Sheehan and Hayes. Hayes is really learning tough school of being in the front row. He's done very well, this new international, got his first cap against Scotland. Stringer and Casalbou, that's awkward. And Crotty didn't really get as much on that as he'd like. So that little flurry was won by Toulouse. And they get the line out. Tournaire coming over slowly. There's Cloughesy. 21, Frankie Sheehan with Galway. Bello, the Toulouse captain, standing at 2. In front of him, Califano. Stefan d'Espagne. Toulouse behind Tournaire in the middle. This is Bello. He's the man. Toulouse takes it the second attempt. Good big tackle that by Hayes to knock Bello over. And it was knocked forward again. And Toulouse are squandering their chances and their possession. Munster may be on the defensive at this stage, but they are riding their luck so far. And just the one between them. Sheehan, good heel, the front row holding solid. O'Gara, long pass to Mullins. Men to spare, and Crotty comes up the middle, and there's a lovely reverse pass into Holland. And now it's Kelly, up the middle, once more. That's good play. Into the Toulouse half, and they've got a bit of momentum going here. And O'Gara feeds it off. And here's Horgan, and he's got Halvey outside him, and Horgan trips, unfortunately, and he's still going, but Halvey's there waiting for the pass, didn't come. Stringer himself. Now Mullins, men to spare here. This is Crotty. Oh yes, O'Gara is in! Another lead for Munster, and what a magnificent try! You won't see better. That is sensational. Where did it start? Somewhere around the 22, and they had such momentum going that they just kept it up. There was Horgan, looked as if it was coming to an end with that. Halvey waited for it. They all surged up in numbers, and then it seemed to break down again. There was Crotty making that big drive through again, and O'Gara at his shoulder. What a moment. Well, that's his first try, and I hope it won't be his last.
Well, you could see the glee on his face there, and he giving it to the Toulouse supporters behind that goal. I'll tell you where it started, Jim. It started inside the Munster 22 with a missed one. From there it was interpassing, changing of angles, until it came to the other side of the field. Anthony Horgan, who did brilliantly to stay on his feet and work his way past 3 defenders before being grounded, but the support was there, and O'Gara was on hand to take the pass from Crotty and get in under the post. And they've really Toulouse in the counter-attack stakes. Here we see it again. Beautiful inside pass. Crotty appears, first time in the movement. Jason Holland taking it on, and the awareness of the angle from John Kelly. He manages to keep it going with the pop-up, and there Foley takes it on, driving at the heart, but it's the quickness of the presentation, the release from Stringer, and they're running hard into it. O'Gara again, popping, Kelly in support, and this is where Horgan gets outside, 1, 2, 3, and then just stumbled. He lost his footing slightly, kept possession, the continuity continued. Stringer again, Crotty pops up for the third time in the movement, gets in behind, and the support on hand from Ronan O'Gara. What a try.
What a try indeed. And 7 points now. So now it's Toulouse 18, Munster 24, and those red hats have smiles underneath them. Yes. Substitution. And I think it's Didier Lacroix is going off. And that means probably that Mathieu Lièvremont will come on. We'll see in just a moment. That's Didier Lacroix. Yeah. Mathieu Lièvremont, who's of course the younger brother of the two more famous Thomas and Mark. 24 gone. Knocked on by Foley. Sun right in his eyes, hit his fingertips. Scrum Toulouse. Munster led 3-0. Then it was equal at 3-3. Then Munster led 8-3 with the try from John Hayes. Then Marfang came back into it and gave Toulouse the lead. They've had that lead until now. Entomac doing his best. Munster's 22. Toulouse letting the ball go forward again. They can't hold on to it because the tackling is fierce. Mullins. And they want to keep it going now, and that was a good kick by the centre, bringing play up to almost the Toulouse 10-metre mark.
Well, if the weather was sapping any of the energy of the Munster players, that must have felt like an extra tank of petrol. That try under the sticks, 24-18 ahead, and the management will still have to look closely at maybe introducing fresh legs in 1 or 2 positions to keep the momentum going, because it's important they keep attacking, keep going at them, don't let them settle, because at this point Toulouse dropping the heads, 1 or 2 of the players, the crowd behind the goal very quiet.
Yes, they are. And Munster have cut the line again in order to possibly stifle any attacking move and make more defenders available in midfield. Yes! And away goes Jason Holland, and he's going to get another 7 points for Munster. Unbelievable! He has scored 4 tries for Munster now, and that is unreal. Superb stuff, and the Munster support, and everybody supporting Munster, are all over the place here in Stade Liscour, and the people behind the stand where the try was scored are stunned.
Well, things are going desperately wrong. The set move, Jason Holland on the fingertips, and what a moment for a player who had to suffer the disappointment of missing the Stade Francais game because of a family bereavement, to come back to a place like Bordeaux against a side like Toulouse and register a try like that. Fantastic.
He got 2 against Colomiers in the first match. He got 1 against Saracens in the second match. Now Brian O'Brien still looking anxious, as indeed he must. But O'Gara with another conversion. And that stretched the lead, and Munster go to 31. And that makes it a little bit more difficult, with a smile on the face of the New Zealander as he canters through and secures the 7 points. Cedric de Brosse has gone off. Toulouse, so they're beginning to ring the changes now. Good take that by Mick Galway. Needs all his experience now, and that of Anthony Foley, Peter Clohessy, to keep going, and Langford driving on, leading that one. They're all there. Who has the ball? Laid back by Foley. Clohessy making an extra couple of yards. Super stuff. Here's O'Gara to punish Marfang and make him go back a bit. It's bouncing away from him. Oh, he's been lucky. Well, that's clever, and that's brilliant if he can make any headway there. And he's superb, swerving, sidestepping, but he's overrun his man, and Pierre Bondouille couldn't take it. Crowd can't believe it, and already Toulouse beginning to hang their heads, and the touch judge has got his flag up, and Jim Fleming's coming over to see what went wrong. Halvey taking his man, Bondouille, who's on for De Brosse, John Hayes taking his man, Yannick Brou, and somebody obviously put a foot in where they shouldn't. That's what the touch judge is saying to the ref, and it looks as if it's a Toulouse player, and the exasperation on the face of the Toulouse players, and Fabien Pelouse says, "Not me, ref, could it be?" And the touch judge has told the referee, won't have it. And that's frustration, exasperation, and it's all playing into Munster's hands.
Well, Jim, French sides are well known for resorting to maybe illegal tactics sometimes when things aren't going that well, leaving the boot in. I don't know, is Ronan happy with the distance of this kick? If he's happy with it, he should certainly have a cut off it. Another 3 points could maybe end this game right now.
Well, there's 13 in it as we stand. Guy Noves on the left is very worried and unhappy, as you can see. But this 3 points would make it very, very difficult for Toulouse, because it would mean that they'd have to score more than 2 converted tries.
The only thing is, Jim, that if there's a side in the world that could possibly score 3 or 4 tries in 10 or 15 minutes, it's Toulouse.
What's that I hear? They go quiet though for the kick. It's a long way, this kick. It's hooking right, but it's not hooking enough. Ougier wants to run it from behind his own posts. He's already into 3rd gear. He's got it up to Stensness. And he bounced off Frankie Sheehan and Mullins. And Labitte doing his best to put his shoulder in. That's good play by Bondouille and Lièvremont. And John Hayes is out of the play after that tackle. Now they're trying to get something going here. Toulouse pass it out to Ougier, looking for the little gap. The 2 centres, Mullins and Holland, stop it. Labitte, Ougier, he's only got Bondouille with him. But this is a tremendous drive by Toulouse. They've covered about 70 yards so far. And D'Espagna goes to the 22 before being hauled down. And now Califano on the floor. Kazalbou Labitte once again. Oh, it's a terrific drive by Toulouse, and the Munster crowd are silent. The Toulouse people expecting on their feet. 5 metres to go, Toulouse. Munster must be careful here. Toulouse trying to get outside the tackle. Now Stensness once again, the Munster line just about holding. Mick Galway putting in the tackle, the ball bouncing around, it's anybody's. But Toulouse have recovered it. And it's gone forward, and it's a Munster scrum. The Toulouse crowd who come to Bordeaux cannot believe it. It's all going against them, and the Munster crowd are on their feet. They know that the advantage is going their way, and they're going to be applause here and there because of the injuries that we're going to have to put up with. Mick Galway's on the ground there, and away from him is John Hayes.
Well, I think the Toulouse fans might feel justified in venting their anger that time. Munster were lucky twice in that passage of play not to concede a penalty, not to be penalised for loitering with intent, if you like, in an offside position. And Jim Fleming has given them the decision with the knock-on. And just when Toulouse looked as if they were going to mount a resurgence with tremendous forward play and interhandling with the backs, the decision goes against them yet again.
Hayes is out of it still, way up the other end of the pitch. I don't think he's going to continue either, which means probably that Marcus Horan will come on. He's on the touchline over there. John Langford says he's okay, happy to go on. He's been a real find, not only for Shannon this year, but also for Munster. John Hayes leaving, and they can't play on without a prop, so Marcus Horan has come on. Toulouse want to get on with it, but Peter Stringer says, no way. Take your time, Marcus. He's got in loose head. There's John Hayes. He's had a terrific season, plagued by injuries, and has really played through them very, very well. Now, this is a dangerous scrum. New man in the front row, new hooker in there as well. Stringer has it though, but it's not easy. Munster needs support. Galway's there because he thinks it's a Munster ball. O'Gara standing way behind his own goal line here, and they're all charging up to him, and he gets the relieving kick in, not clearing the 22. It takes away another couple of seconds. And there was Foley once again, tackled by Penno this time, and if that isn't a high tackle, I don't know what is. 6 minutes to go. There might be a bit of stoppage time. That's the Munster crowd over there. There's another crowd on the far side opposite that. Yannick Roux looking for his man and finding Hugues Miron, who's on now. Cazalbou to Penno. Stensness on the crash ball, and it's robbed by David Wallace. He kept his eye on that, and he's extremely good at it. O'Gara to clear the line once again, put it up, and there's nobody up there. And Ogier has a huge amount of ground to cover, and it's bounced for Munster into touch inside the Toulouse 22. It's going well for them.
Well, the small little things, Jim, have to work for you. A great rob from David Wallace, a massive clearance kick from O'Gara to bring play back to the Toulouse 22.
Declan Kidney told them to believe in themselves before this match. There was nothing else he could say. Reminds me of Kieran Fitzgerald's comment in 1982 when Ireland won the Triple Crown. They certainly believe in themselves today.
And it's been a much tougher passage, Jim. We haven't had the source of possession. Our back row really weren't on the forward foot, and they've really had to graft and work hard for any bit of possession.
It's Toulouse. Cazalbou, Penno. Wallace got to him. He's done a huge amount of covering, David Wallace, today. Kept his eye on the out half. Stensness charging up. Toulouse once again up to the 10-metre mark. Marthang has nobody there, and they're trying to close him down. They're talking about a late tackle over there. The ball bouncing, not quite. Crotty has to play it. The crowd want a late tackle. The referee won't have any of it, but it'll be a line out. And the ref is talking to the Toulouse man for the a late tackle on Dominic Crotty over there after the ball had gone out of play. It's getting fractious, and tempers are beginning to get a little frayed. I don't blame them, because there's everything at stake here. Toulouse 18, Crotty, and up comes Lièvremont, and into touch he goes. And what happens after that? Toulouse 18, Munster 31. Seconds ticking away. That's the Munster line. 4 minutes of normal time to go. Brew with the throw, looking for Miron, but finding Toulouse. They could surge to the line from here. They're trying to crab around the side. Oh, great tackle that by Halvey. Superb, keeping him out. The Munster line just about holding. Now, Labitte, held by Wallace and Foley. Galway putting in the big hit as well. Cazalbou, he's knocked it forward. But I think it's a penalty against Munster for offside. The Munster three-quarters too far up. Now Toulouse, Stensness. It's knocked forward this time. Advantage being played. Every time they seem to get into an advantage position, they knock the ball forward. Entemac, the ref is playing on here. Stensness once again, he's the man they use for all their big hits up the middle. Frank Tournaire. And Stringer has robbed it. A hand on the ground, a penalty against Munster. And I think Toulouse is going to make the most of this. Peter Clahessy and Mick Galway. Jim Fleming knows them well. He's refereed them many times. There they were on the ground. Where was the hand that played it back before it squirted out? And I think Mick Galway has to leave for it might be a blood injury. And the penalty kick takes Toulouse to within 5. Galway's off.
Well, he gives Don O'Callaghan the big fist, a boost from coming on, and it's the organisational side of things now they'll have to concentrate on. With Golub certainly off the pitch, he's always there steering the ship, if you like, and a big moment too for Donogh O'Callaghan.
Now, Brew to throw to the full line, looking for Miron. They've got most of their forward subs on Toulouse at this stage. The ball is anybody's in there. Very difficult. Picked up, knocked on. Munster scrum. It's happening. Minute and a half of normal time left. And Munster have only used subs because they've had to. Nicky Davis in. One of the Munster players, I think, is in real trouble there on the floor. And the ref quickly in to stop it. Tom Tierney, Alan Quinlan. Well, we wondered early on if Christmas was about to come early. And he thinks it will. It's an odd sight to see Santa Claus with sunglasses. And there's the man to lose out, getting a big hug from Brian O'Brien. Jeremy Staunton, who's as happy as the rest of them now, because his time will come. And it was an awful moment when he had to be told that he was the man who wouldn't be playing. Killian Keane was preferred on the bench, and Nicky Davis has restored Frankie Sheehan. Fields up to dry. The last 30 seconds of normal time, and a place in the final at stake, and Toulouse, exasperated, have broken away the scrum, and they've given away the penalty. This was going to be a tough match, but actually every match they've played has been tough. They beat Pontypridd comfortably enough, 32-10 at home. Saracens 34-35 away. Colomiers 31-15 away. And then they destroyed Colomiers 23-5 in Musgrave Park just before Christmas. And then with that magical kick on full time, Ronan O'Gara gave them the win over Saracens 31-30 in Thomond Park. They lost in the last of the round-robin matches 38-36 to Pontypridd before the quarter-final 27-10 win against Stade Francais. Every match has been tough. Langford, O'Callaghan can't get his hands on it. Stringer can. Hauled down by Liebremont. And lifting, and a free kick against Toulouse. Just a minute of extra time added. How much more to go? A couple of minutes maybe. A couple of injuries in this half. 13 points the difference. Toulouse 18, Munster 31. On goes Halvey. He really has justified his selection. He's played 2 wonderful games since his recall. O'Gara into Sheehan. Not over the gain line, Munster yet. Possession there for the visiting side. Going forward, it'll be a scrum to Munster.
And that's what they need to keep doing, Jim. They need to keep recycling possession, don't kick it away, keep handling it. If in doubt, go to ground and start again. But I suspect, Jim, that in about 5 minutes' time, well, the whole of Munster, if not half of Ireland, will be making arrangements to maybe go across the water, dare I say it, around the end of May.
27th of May is the day. Here's Anthony Foley. He was covered all day by the big tacklers, but he put in a lot of hard work. Squirting away. Possession turned over. Kicked away by Ronan O'Gara. Didn't happen. Penalty against Munster. Player coming in from the wrong side. Liebremont trying to go through. Tackled by Foley. Offloads it to Cédric Soulette. Dropped forward. Knocked forward once again by Toulouse. They can't do anything right. And bear in mind that they haven't scored a try. And the ref looks at his watch. We'll play on, but there can't be much left now. 13 points the difference. There can't hardly be enough time for Toulouse to score 2 converted tries. Penalty against Munster. Kazalbou to get it going for one last effort. Labitte trying to burst up as he's done all afternoon. They're 15 metres from the Munster line. Classy on his opposite number, or Wallace this time on his opposite number. Now Ougier, tackled by Horgan. Tackle him low, they always say, and that's what he did. Scrum Toulouse. We all watch the referee. He stopped the watch. He stopped the watch. The touch judge on the far side wants to bring him into the action. 3 minutes of additional time. Ian Ramage talking to Jim Fleming. The seconds tick away, but 2 converted tries required by Toulouse, and that must be beyond them. And it's David Wallace being called off because he did have a bit of a go at his opposite number, which the touch judge is not going to let him away with. Penalty under the posts. It's no good to Toulouse unless they can score 2 tries from here. And there can't be 3 minutes left. They were at back 10, Munster. They're playing out time now. Coming up to 4 minutes of extra time added. Back behind the goal line they must go. It's a tired-looking Toulouse side now. Kazalbou. What's on for Toulouse? One of the set-piece moves, perhaps? It has to be.
Yes, come on!
But the seconds are ticking away. They will play. Tournaire. Wrapped up by Halvey. Surging to the line, up to the posts. Donegal Callaghan at the bottom of all that. Now what's going to be the decision here? It's up, and it's not over yet. It'll be a scrum because the referee says the ball was up off the ground. Toulouse scrum, and this is ideal from Munster's point of view because we've now had 4.5 minutes of extra time. Nicky Davis once more called into the action because a Munster player has hit himself off the posts, and that's dangerous. The Munster support here, loads of whom came today, here in numbers. I can't believe it that this wonderful team is going to see them through to a final, and the second Irish team to reach the final in succession. Ulster's performance last year was unbelievable and well deserved, and Munster will be playing surely now in the final on the 27th of May in either Twickenham or Cardiff. 5.5 minutes of extra time. This might be the last move of the match. Kazalbou touches down for the try. The conversion will happen, and then we'll see if it is the last kick of the match. It puts a bit of a gloss on it from Toulouse's point of view. It now makes them 23, possible 25. Still leaves them 6 points behind Munster if this kick goes over.
Well, Jim, I certainly Wouldn't like if Jim Fleming finds another 2 minutes somewhere.
Well, he's not going to blow the final whistle yet. Toulouse gone to 25, Munster are 31. I was sure that would be the last kick of the match because he's now played almost 6.5 minutes and we have still a bit more to go. O'Gara floating one for the tired legs, all to get up. Bounced back and Foley has got the possession on the Toulouse 22. That's where they want to be, or closer. And O'Gara puts the teaser up for Ougier, and they're all up, all the red shirts up there in numbers. And a penalty, no advantage played. Last chance here, we've said that before. Ougier tackled by Horan and Sheehan, and Munster weren't back 10. Big tackle required here from Langford, and he's got it. Munster driving in, but Cazalbou can see it. Labitte trying to offload, it's gone back to Ougier, and Mullins makes the tackle, a crucial one too. Cazalbou rescues, but they're still inside their own 22. Men there, and it's gone forward. No advantage here. It's gone forward, and that is it! Munster have got it! They're in the European Cup final against all the odds.